coronavirus task force? Will Dr. Fauci, will Dr. Birx be there?
You'll have to tune in to see. Yes.
Thank you. On Portland, on sending agents to Portland, as well as plans for Chicago, why are these the right people to send? My understanding, these agents often work on human smuggling, drug trafficking, things like that. Do they have the right skill set, whether it's gun violence in Chicago or quelling unrest in Portland?
Well, first, let me add, they haven't been sent to Chicago. These DHS officials are currently in Portland protecting a courthouse. We do believe they're the right individuals for that, as does 40 U.S.C. 1315, the United States Code. It's egregious what's happening, the frequency jammers, the pellet and air rifles in Portland. It's being depicted as this peaceful scene. I can assure you it's anything but that, where you've had barricades trying to keep officers in the Hatfield, courthouse, injury to a Border Patrol team member's leg, injuries to the head, shoulder, and back of a deputy U.S. Marshal. U.S. Marshal impaled his right hand on a board filled with nails set out by the protesters. This is not a peaceful scene. I'm very thankful to our U.S. Marshals and ATF and others who are acting in accordance with a statute and protecting a federal building, and doing so at great cost to themselves. Yes.
Thanks, Haley. I have two questions for you on the stimulus. First, since you guys are committed to the payroll tax cut, that seems to be driving up the price tag of the whole package. So is the White House view the $1 trillion figure that's been cited by GOP leaders as a hard cap? Or are you willing to sign something that would spend more than that?
These are all preliminary discussions, so I'll leave it to the negotiators to decide. The $1 trillion number was cited by Secretary Mnuchin yesterday. But look, this is the beginning stages. We're looking at a number of things, but the president was very clear that he would like to see a payroll tax in there, along with liability protections, tax credits for businesses to bring people back to work and to have safe work environments, and of course, $70 billion for schools to reopen safely, at least $70 billion.
And then on the testing piece, what are the long wait times that we're seeing for tests around the country suggest that we do need a massive influx of testing beyond what's unspent, and that the federal government should take more control of the country's testing program?
So we do want to see more testing funding, but we want it to be targeted in a way that it gets to the right people who need testing at the right time, not just dumping money into a bucket. So we want more money. We want it to be targeted. But I'm glad you brought up the timing of the testing. I talked to Dr. Birx, and she's very encouraged by the pool testing that's being worked on. You can run 4 to 5 times as many tests in the same period of time by decreasing turnaround times at a minimum of 2/3. So if you took 3 days to get a test result, it goes down to less than 1. If it took 6 days, it goes down to less than 2. And it's more labor intensive. So they would need to hire additional personnel, but CMS is funding the test at about 4 times the actual test cost to ensure technicians and PPE requirements can be met. So we are seeing encouraging signs on that front. Yes.
Thank you, Kaylee. Just going back to the Portland situation, what is sort of the policy justification for federal officers not identifying their agency and their arrest authority when they take a protester into custody?
So I've been told by DHS that there is insignia indicating that they're law enforcement. They, in the case you're referencing, did identify themselves to the individual being obtained, but that they don't identify themselves to crowds because it would put them at great risk. And I think you can see that, as I noted, when they're sticking their hands into boards left out by some of the rioters. Yes.
Hey, Kelly. On June 16th, a little more than a month ago, the White House, via the Vice President, published an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. The op-ed said that the media has tried to scare the American people